introduction, but welcome, welcome, welcome everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Suzanne Hart. I hail from Brockville, Ontario, Canada. That is Thousand Islands. I call it God's country because I live like where the city and the cottage country kind of intersect. It is absolutely beautiful. And welcome to my presentation. It is about a financial opportunity that changed my life 17 years ago. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I didn't always live here. I was living in Toronto, and I was working downtown Toronto, traveling an hour to work, an hour from work, 3 boys in soccer all over the city. And it was crazy busy. And I managed one of the largest drop-ins in the downtown core of the city of Toronto. If you don't know what a drop-in is, it is a day program for women who have mental health issues, women who have addictions, women who are living on the street and homeless. And I had the privilege of managing and supervising the crisis team. Loved what I did, but after a number of years of doing that, it began to take a toll on my health. It did not matter how much I slept. I never actually woke up feeling rested. I remember going back and forth to my doctor, really kind of thinking there was something wrong because my energy was failing, and I'd lost 10 pounds of lean muscle at that time. Having been an athlete and always in tip-top shape, I was nothing close to that. On the home front, we were $50,000 upside down in credit card debt. We had a lien on our house at one point, and I was truly suffering in silence. Not only was I suffering in silence, I was also angry and pissed off, filled with worry, shame, and a lot of blame. Why? Because I am the person who got this message when my mom brought me to Canada from Trinidad, that if I went to school, got a great education, and worked really hard, I would get the life I deserve. So here I am with 7 years post-secondary education, had climbed that proverbial ladder, got to the top of my game. There was nowhere else to go, yet I was upside down financially. My marriage was failing because of financial stress, and I would lay in bed and pray. And I was praying for a miracle. It was time for my miracle. And I really didn't know what to do. So one day, after I probably had a night of tears, absolute frustration, I get a call from my good friend Susan. And Susan tells me she has found a financial opportunity that was going to change our health. She said there was a product attached to it, that our wealth rather, and there was a product attached to it that was going to change our health. She began to tell me all sorts of interesting things. And me being the proud person that I was and didn't understand what she was talking about, I said to her, girl, my life is fine. And I hung up the phone. And that was that. Luckily for me, she did not listen. The next day I got another phone call. She began to tell me some more. My friend called me for 7 days straight. On the very last day of calling me, she called me with a friend called Deborah, and they said to me, we are going to do this with or without you. I'm going to say that again. We're going to do it with or without you, but we'd rather do it with you. Now, as I sat there, I don't know about you, but all that kept running in my mind was what if? What if this was the thing? What if? What if they went ahead and they had success and I was left behind? What if this was the answer? I will say to you that sometimes the miracle that you are seeking does not show up in the package you expected. My miracle showed up in a phone call and a brown box a few weeks later at my doorstep. This, when I finally said yes and jumped in, has totally changed my financial future. It changed my health. It changed who I was internally. I began to dream again. I began to spread my wings, and I began to do a lot of different things. So tonight I'm going to introduce you to home-based business. I'm going to introduce you to network marketing. And in my 17 years, I've had the privilege of bringing home close to $2 million in commissionable wholesale revenue. So I've had a good, it's been a great run. I have also put this business down for about the past 6 years, gone off and built another business. And because of what's going on in the economy and different things, I was thinking of picking it up, and I thought this is the perfect time, because sometimes timing is everything. Network marketing has allowed me to travel all over the country. It has kept me in optimal health. I have seen beaches, I've gone different places, but I've also done things and lived a life I only once dreamed of. I think the biggest thing that this was a gift was my own personal growth and personal development, but also the time freedom it afforded me. So, do you have a vision for your life? That is my big question to everyone listening. Do you have a vision for your life? Do you have a dream for your life? If your answer is yes, chances are it's going to take time, and it's going to take money, and it's going to require this thing called freedom. And so for me, when I used to lay in bed at night, I actually had a dream, but I didn't know how to get there because I didn't have the time, I didn't have the money, I didn't have the energy, I didn't have the health. I was anything but free. But I had done all the right things. So what I'm going to talk to you about is what I took my leap of faith in and why I choose to do network marketing. In order to do that, we got to get clear on a few things because I always get asked these things. So the first thing I'm going to say is people are going to ask, is this a pyramid? No, we are not a pyramid. See, a pyramid is when money exchanges, but there's no product or service. We're going to talk to you about a financial opportunity that has a product and service attached to it. So we are not a pyramid. I have not participated in a pyramid. Some people are going to say, oh, you're in direct sales. No, not quite. Because direct sales is the direct sale of a product. And oftentimes they do home parties. They bring their product with them. They sell you the product. They deliver the products to you. And it is actually a direct sale. It's a step away from a retail model and you have a team, but it's not the same concept. Then some of you might say, oh, you're in multi-level marketing. No, I'm not in multi-level marketing because in multi-level marketing, you build wide and then you create depth. But this is the interesting thing. Yes, you're building a network, but the company only pays you a certain amount of levels, sometimes 5, sometimes 7, sometimes 9. See, my thing was if I was going to build a network and that network was going to grow to thousands of people, why would I not be partnered with a company that would pay me on my entire network? So I have chosen to spend my time doing network marketing. And the two words I want you to remember in this sentence is network and marketing, because they make all the difference in the world, right? Because every one of us has a network, whether it's big or small, and whether you know it or not, you are probably doing some marketing for some people that are not compensating or rewarding you. So the words I want you to pay attention is network and marketing. So I'm going to talk to you tonight about an amazing financial opportunity with a product attached. This is the power of redirecting your spending and getting a return on your investment. Think about that. Redirect your spending and getting a return on what you spend at an online store. So this is where I started my journey, because as I said yes and took that leap of faith 17 years ago, there were some things I had to get clear on. One of the first books I read was Business of the 21st Century by Robert Kiyosaki. Now, Robert Kiyosaki made his money in real estate, as we all know. But when he studied network marketing, he said if he didn't do real estate and he was to do it all over again, he would actually get into network marketing and possibly own some network marketing companies, because he said it is a perfect structure for wealth creation. So the question I got asked, and the question I'm going to ask you, is what is wealth? Now, if you're like me, way back when, I thought that wealth was owning my own home. I also thought wealth was when I took my money after my bills and I attempted to save and invest in mutual funds and generate this thing called wealth. So I thought my savings was creating wealth. But you know, the problem was there was always more month left at the end of my money, and I never had that extra $200-300 to save, so I was not creating any wealth. So Robert says that wealth is the number of days you can survive without physically working and still maintain your standard of living. I want you to understand that. The number of days you can survive without physically working and still maintain your standard of living. So I want you to take a moment and possibly do this equation. I want you to think of your expenses. What is your monthly expenses? And this equation, it's $4,000 per month, okay? Then I want you to take the money you have saved in your savings accounts, in your investments accounts, whatever that is. And this person, the average Canadian or North American has $12,000 tucked away. Well, their wealth is 3 months or 90 days. For some people, that's staggering. When I first looked at this equation, I wanted to cry because when I did it, my wealth was probably a few minutes because I was so upside down that I couldn't afford to stop working. I could not afford to stop doing anything because my back felt like it was against the wall. So this is the thing. If you had to stop working tomorrow, how long would you survive? And this is a serious question, really, because we are in a circumstance right now where a lot of people are faced with not being able to go to work. A lot of people have had their businesses close their doors. A lot of people have had, there's a delay and their business is closed. The company they work for is closed for a period of time. So there's a lot of people that are out there that are saying, you know, how long can I survive? That is a wealth question. Right? This is why this is such a perfect timing, because people are now aware to the gap between where they are and where they need to be in a situation like this. And so for me, 17 years ago, when I began to understand this, I said, you know what? I need to secure my wealth. I need to have money coming in when I'm not physically working. So the real goal should be to develop a residual income or a passive income that's greater than your monthly expenses. So when I went on my network marketing journey, what I was blessed to do is to create an income, a monthly income that greatly surpassed my monthly expenses. And this is what wealth is. So I want to introduce you to how this works. So the next thing I learned, and many people have studied this, is the Robert Kiyosaki cash flow quadrant. Now, for me, this was such an eye-opener because it explained to me my frustration. It explained to me why I had worked so hard and couldn't get ahead and had hit the ceiling and was still financially upside down. Because it had nothing to do with my education. It had to do with my miseducation around wealth. So my education and my career was fine, but my miseducation around wealth was what was biting me. So I want to talk to you about the left side of the equation and the right side of the equation in Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant. So when I had my job, I was an employee. I loved what I did. I loved who I worked for, but I was actually trading time for dollars. What that means is my income was attached to time. So somebody, and I want you to get this, decided I was worth $40 an hour, let's say, and they bought me for 8 hours a day. And I know that sounds harsh, but that's actually what happens. Your employee buys you for 8 hours a day, and your income is attached to time. So as long as you go into work and those doors are open, you will get your paycheck. Mine arrives every Monday, right? So that's what happens for most people. But as long as your income is attached to time, you're going to be like 95% of the population who makes only 5% of the global income. Think about that. That's a crowded situation. There's a lot, and that's why people say there's competition out there. Well, yeah, there's competition if you're swimming in the pool that's crowded. Right? And so my coach would say, this is the red ocean. We want to get over to the blue ocean. We want to begin to think differently. Now, some of you might say, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to become self-employed. Well, to be self-employed is to still trade time for dollars, is to still have a linear income. But the difference is you've decided your worth and you've decided how many hours you're going to work. But this is the interesting thing. When you stop trading time for dollars, money stops flowing. So if you're a chiropractor and you're adjusting people, as long as you can adjust people, you will make money. But the interesting thing, the amount of money you can make is determined by the amount of adjustments you can do in a week, right? So really, income is limited when it's 100% of your efforts. And that's why there's only 5% of the income made on this side. But 95% of the people have been educated to go over there. Why? Because we are taught, go to school, get a great education, and then go get a great job. And we're told we will be happily ever after. Now, many people are learning that this is not the case. So this is what I began to understand as I went on my journey. I began to understand that Certain people, people who don't have a lot of money that live on the left side of the equation, is that they go to school to get an education. People who live on the right education and to get a job when they're done. People who exist on the right side of the equation, where 5% of the people exist and 95% of the income occurs, they have been taught, go to school, build a network, and then build a business. Very different conversation. Go to school, build a network, and build a business. So wouldn't you want to find out how you can get over from the left side to the right side? That was my burning question when I began to understand it. Now, when you participate in network marketing, what it actually does is gives you an opportunity to move from the left to the right. It allows you to swim in that pool that's not so crowded, the blue ocean, because you're thinking differently, and participate in this thing called leverage. And we're going to talk about leverage. So let's go up to the business owners quadrant. And you see, business owners build a business that has a system. And a system creates this thing called duplication. McDonald's is a system. Starbucks is a system. Chapters is a system. There's systems all over the place. And what a system is it's exactly the same no matter where you see it. When you walk in the doors, you know exactly what to see, what you're going to see, because they're identical, right? So it's a business system. But this is the other thing. Within the business, they have a network that goes to work. A network are the employees. So when you worked for someone, you were part of their network and they have put you to work. So if you go to Chapters, you know, Starbucks, McDonald's, you'll see all these people as part of the McDonald's network all over the globe that are being put to work by this company, right? Now, this is the thing. Whoever owns the big people who own that McDonald's master franchise, if you will, they are leveraging their network, because while everybody else is working, they're not. They are leveraging, they're like the massive conductor of the leverage group. That's the business, the brilliance of business, right? We go to work for them and they leverage our time, they leverage our productivity, they leverage our brilliance, they leverage our ingenuity, they leverage us, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just you got to understand it. And then they take the money that they've made from leverage and they reinvest it and leverage it again. This is your money working for you. Now, this is the reasons why they're able to do it. On the left side of the equation, you make your money, you pay your tax man, and then you live on what's left. On the right side of the equation, you make your money, you pay your expenses, then you pay your taxes. You see, taxes are built for the right side of the equation, and the right side of the equation benefits from it. Nothing wrong with it. It's just the facts of the game. What I'm saying is we all need to learn how to work smarter, not harder. We now need to learn how to take the long yet short path. And what I mean by the long yet short path is when you start in business, it takes a little bit longer to start making your income. But once your income starts to flow and you have leverage, it grows faster and it stays longer, right? So we want to figure out how to do that. So when my friends called me, what they were really saying to me was they found the answer, and they were saying that poor people and average people look for jobs. Wealthy people build networks, and they understood it, and they were inviting me to be part of their network. And when I finally got it, I jumped in with both feet. So let's look at the cash flow quadrant for the company that I have partnered with for the past, oh my God, 17 years. And they have a cash flow quadrant, and I really want you to understand how this works, right? Building your network and moving from the left to the right is what we're really going to talk about. Now, I really want to situate this for you because many people do network marketing and direct sales. They do these things like the same way they come to their job, right? So in Isagenix, we also have customers, and customers can come in, they open an account just like they do on Amazon. There's no membership. They use great products. Now our products are in the health and wellness industry, and a lot of stuff for boosting your immune system, keeping you healthy. It's timely at this point in time, but we have customers. Now customers can use products and they can make referrals, and Isagenix will send them a coupon to get a discount on their products, and they get caught up in just making referrals. right? And that's like trading time for dollars, because you're doing the work and you're getting compensated for it. Then you can become an associate, and an associate is someone who's interested in the sales process. They're interested in making money. But associates are also on the left side, and they look at it just like retail sales, and they sell products and they get paid. They sell products, they get paid. They sell products, they get paid. And that's what most people think. You go sell products to your friends and family and you get paid, and you go talk to so many people about selling these products. That's a linear income approach. And your income, if you do it that way, is attached to the amount of products you can sell. And again, you're still trading time for dollars. But let's go over onto the right side. And this is how I've learned to do network marketing. And this is why I want to highlight the power of the network and the power of marketing. So when I got taught about the power of the network. And they told me your network has nothing to do with what company you're with. It has to do with your ability to build a network. So they taught me what big business did. And they said, Suzanne, what you really want to get interested in is building a network of people who go shop at the Isagenix store, your network. So what I really got to understand was that I use these products, I love them. I was telling people about them, but I was directing them to the online grocery store called Isagenix and saying, buy the products you need. And this was the interesting thing. I said, and when you buy, and if you want to participate in building this network with me, Isagenix will give us a 6% return on our spending, the spending of our network. And I really want you to get this, right? So I began to build my networking and create and have friends begin to shop at the Isagenix store. It was the same as referring people to Costco, Sam's Club, having them drive into Costco and Sam's Club, shop, and Costco may say, thank you, I don't know. They probably don't know your name, right? But at no point do they send you 6% of the spending of the network that you send to shop there. That was the difference. So I said, okay, if I build a network that shops at this online grocery store, I will begin to get 6%. So I started to do that, and money started to flow. Now, I did not touch products. I did not deliver products. I did not carry an inventory. I didn't run around the country, marketing and doing that with their products. What I did was I shared a story. I directed people to an online store. They set up their own accounts and they started doing their groceries. Now, when I got the next step, this is when things changed. So Isagenix said that if you're willing to not only bring your network, but to identify leaders who also had networks and have them join your network and have those people shop at the store, we will give you a 10% match on what their network spends. And I thought, ooh, this is real leverage. This is me investing. Remember I said, right? Invest in other people, invest. So I invested in leaders. They began to bring their network. I showed them what to do, and their network joined my network, and they all began to shop at the store. So I got 6% on the entire network, and then I got a 10% match because Isagenix was grateful for me developing leaders that shopped at the store. So in essence, what I did was I franchised myself by identifying leaders in different parts of the country that were also building networks who shopped at the store, but I franchised at no cost to me. I just shared an idea. I directed traffic and I said, this is where I shop. I think you'll like it. Believe it or not, I was now part of the 5% of Isagenix that was sharing in the 95% of the income because I understood the power of the network, right? And once I got that, I did not turn back. So why is this working? Because there have been market disruptors that have made this possible, and there's been market disruptors that have made this make sense. So Apple shifted the way we communicate, right? Everybody's running around with a smartphone, so we all have a computer in our hands. We are more connected to all over the planet than we ever were. That means you can do business in any market in the world that Isagenix is open, right on your phone. Google shifted the way we do information, right? We are all online. I'm talking to you online. I'm talking to someone who's in St. Thomas right now. I'm talking to someone who's in Washington, D.C. Because why? Because we are networking online. Your Google changed the way information happens. People are building networks and connecting into networks online. And Amazon shifted the way we shop, right? I remember when I started this journey in Isagenix and I would tell people, go online and shop. They'd be like, no, 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 I'm not putting my credit card online. I'm not going to do it. Fast forward 12 years, 14 years, we are now all shopping online. And we're in a period right now where everybody's going to begin to shop online. Why? Because things are closed. Now, I also will say to you that there's a lot of retail businesses right now that are thinking, you know what, we may not come back. We're going to go online. Because this is the, business shifts when we have crisis. Business shifts when things unexpected happen. And those who are market disruptors begin to disrupt the market. We are in a place where the market's being disrupted and we have an opportunity to seize the moment. So network marketing is, and I believe it's an income disruptor. Why? Because they've taken all those disruptions, the disruption of communication, the disruption of how we get information, this disruption of shopping, they've put that all together and they're disrupting how they make income. Why? Because they're saying, well, if we're online and we have an online store and people can communicate, why do we need to market? Let the people market for us. So we become the middleman. That's why we get the 6%. That's why we get the 10%. So we are just part of an online economy that is booming right now and is about to explode. So why would you want to look at and consider network marketing? Because we all build networks. Now you're going to get to build a network with intention, but you're also going to get to collaborate with other people that are building networks. And we're going to build a super network together. You're going to get committed, loyal customers, but they're not going to shop at your store. They're going to shop at the Isagenix store. So you don't have to worry about infrastructure. You don't have to worry about delivery. You don't have to worry about all those things. We are about to leverage the buying power, productivity, creativity, time of a bunch of people. This is about building your virtual franchise without the $100,000 to $200,000 to $300,000 investment. There's no overhead. There's no employee. We work together. We collaborate. There's no inventory. I don't think there's anything better than that. It is a perfect opportunity in this time. Now, this is a beautiful thing, and I really want you to get this. Remember I said this is about redirecting your spending and getting a return on your investment. When I looked at this, remember, I was financially upside down, but I still had to eat. I still had to feed my family. And what I did was, after I sent my boys off to school, I sent my husband off to work, I would jump in my car, I'm going to drive to work. I never had breakfast because I really didn't have time. So when I got to work, I'd run across the street to Second Cup, I'd buy a muffin and a coffee, and I'd go back to work, and that's what I had for breakfast. In the middle of the afternoon, I'd run back across, and I would do almost the same thing. I spent an average of $7 to $10 a day. And I want you to multiply 10 times 30. I didn't realize at the time, but I spent about $300 running back and forth to Second Cup. Now, they didn't give me a 6% return. They didn't even say thank you. They were like, thank you for your business, that's it. But when I looked at it, I said, I can take that spending. Remember I said this is a redirecting of spending, and spend it at the Isagenix store. I can buy products that will nourish and boost my body, build my immune system, get me healthier than I've ever been. And I will actually have not spent any more money. And then if I encouraged my friends to redirect their spending, we would all get a return on investment. I thought this was brilliant. I had never seen anything like it. I was like, why don't most people know about it? The reality is most people know what network marketing is. They just don't actually understand what it is and how it works. So I was blessed to be trained by some exceptional people. So let me tell you how I see it and how it works. So you're all sitting on this call because you've been invited by someone who's seen this and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm in. Okay, so what I did was I said, I'm in, and I went and I got my 10 consumer coaches, right? 10 people who were interested in the financial opportunity, that had tried and loved the products and were saying, yeah, I'm in, I'm gonna do this with you. So I put my 10, I built my franchises out first before I ever got customers. And then I told my coaches to go get your 10 coaches. Go get your 10 consumer coaches. Let's lay the foundation. Let's franchise you right away, right? So our 10 became 100 consumer coaches. Then I said, okay, now let's go get some customers, but also continue to franchise. And that's exactly it. It was a simple formula. 10 go get 10 who go get 10. Now we have 1,000 people in our network, right? And we do that rather quickly. And I want you to get this. So in Isagenix, we're paid on what we call business volume. So 1,000 people purchasing 100 points in business volume equals 100,000 BV. Isagenix said we're going to pay you 6% on that. So 6% times 100,000 is $6,000 coming in per month. Think about it. What we did was we redirected our spending. We directed people to shop at the Isagenix store, and we participated in their economy, right? We participate in this closed economy. Now, I'll say to you, the last time I saw a situation like this was when the economy crashed. And I remember the Isagenix owner, Jim Coover, came on a conference call and he said, the country is going into recession, but we at Isagenix are not going to participate. Why? Because we have a closed market. I'm just going to mute whoever's chatting. And if not, if you can mute your line. And he said, because we are part of a closed economy, people are redirecting their spending and referring their friends to our store. And he said, if we continue to do that, things are going to change. But he said another thing. He said, as the economy shifts, there will be people looking for a financial opportunity. Go out and help them. Go out and support them and teach them the power of network marketing and the power of redirecting their spending, because they're spending the money anyway. Right? How many of you right now are looking for things to boost your immune system? How many of you are looking for things to keep you healthy? How many of you are looking to shop without leaving your home? Redirect your spending and participate in a financial opportunity. So I went to work and I really understood the power of John D. Rockefeller's quote, I'd rather have 1% of 100 people's effort than 100% of my own effort. And I went to work on leveraging productivity, people's spending, people's time, people's talents and treasures, and their resources. I understood that if I wanted to go fast, I'd go alone. That's called self-employed. But if I wanted to go far, I would go together. And that's what I did. I built a team. We had a dream and we went to work. Now at the height of my business, my team was probably just over 20,000 people, right? Redirecting their spending, and I got the blessing of getting 6% on all that spend. And so did my people, because they're not in business for me. We're building a network together, and we have the opportunity to earn income jointly. And so that's what got me excited. That's what has me excited today. So in Isagenix, in this opportunity, you build 2 teams, right? You build 2 teams. And if that interests you and you want to learn more about how this truly works, you want to find out about the products are not, I don't talk about the products because I'll send you to the website. The products are fantastic. I've been consuming them for 17 years. They have totally changed my health. People always ask me, how come you're so lean? How come you're so fit? How come you've been the same weight for like forever? And I go, it's what I fuel my body with. I fuel my body with superfood. So if this interests you, I'll tell you the 3 steps. Make a list of 200 people. Check off the 20 people that you would like, that you're really excited about. Those are your consumer coaches. That's your franchise. And find those committed consumer coaches, and then find those committed customers. And then we repeat it. It truly is that simple. But this is what I want to tell you. I'm not in the business of convincing anybody. I don't want you to be in the business of convincing anybody. I don't want you running around trying to talk to family members that are not interested, because that's what most people think about. This is what I want you to think of. I'm always in conversation with like-minded people like me who are looking for opportunity, people like me that are looking for financial opportunities, people like me that think like me, who are always looking for more. See, I want to build a community of like-minded people. I want to build a network of like-minded people. Now, what's beautiful about this is many of the people on this call already have businesses. And I've reached out to these people particularly because I want you to get this. We are going to build a network of people people who already have business. We're going to redirect our spending and have one stream of income. Then you're going to have another stream of income, but then you're going to have a network of trusted people who probably need your products and service in whatever other business you have, right? It is a perfect opportunity. It is a perfect storm, right? For me, what happened was I put the products in my body. I jumped in with both feet in with the opportunity. I became a walking billboard, and that's how I attracted my customers. I intentionally went and looked for my consumer coaches, those people I wanted to lock arms with. But then I began to, people started to ask me, what are you doing? Why do you look the way you do? Why does your skin glow? And all those things. Why do you look so healthy? And they became my customers. But some customers, when they saw what I was doing and they got the results, they were like, you know what? I want to be a consumer coach too. And so that's what we did. I want to leave you with this thought, right? This is like, have you ever thought of beachfront real estate? This to me is like beachfront real estate. I think I own beachfront real estate. Now, why I'm using this analogy, because if you think of a new development and you put your house up on the beach, right? You know the price is it's gonna be low. And as people come and they join the network, right? Your community, the price of your real estate goes up. That's exactly what happens. You know, as we start to build and as the network starts to grow, if you're one of the first people to say yes, as your network grows, the price of your real estate is going to go up. Now, this is what I'm going to leave you with. You might say, Suzanne, I'm really interested, but I'm looking for products and I want to find out more about the nutrition. Buy your real estate, pay your stake, and think of your products as your property taxes for owning that property. There might be other people who are like, I see this, not only am I going to get my real estate, I'm going to build right away. I'm going to go to work. I know who I want to talk to, and I'm going to redirect. You're going to pay your property taxes. That is your products that you're going to consume, your redirecting of your spending, which you're going to do anyway, right? Then you're going to go to work and build your property. Your property might be, you know, you might get in and spend $300. I spent an average of $200 a month as I redirected my spending when I started, right? I still can spend the same amount today, but I love the products, so I spend a lot more. But this is the thing, the net worth of my business is hundreds of thousands of dollars. Why? Because my network has grown. This is the opportunity for you, right? So I'm going to stop here. I am going to open up the call. Ask people what questions, comments, takeaways they have for me. And thank you all for showing up. And this is what I'm going to say to you. Somebody thought enough about you and they thought they wanted to lock arms to you to invite you out for this call. Get back on the phone with the person who connected with you. Get your questions answered. If I will remain available to answer any questions. People, you know, everyone has my number. You can call out, reach out to me, and get your question answered. Because if this is for you, I will tell you, for me, it feels like we're in a perfect storm right now. This is a perfect opportunity. The second thing is it gives you an opportunity to serve. Because there are people out there that are like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know where I'm going to go generate some income, but I do need income. They're going to eat anyway. Let them redirect their spending. Show them how they can leverage their spending and generate some income, and have a second plan so that when this happens again, and it'll look different, but it will happen, that they'll say, you know what? I got income not tied to time. Doors won't close because we're in the online economy. I shop online. It's a perfect situation. Get out and serve yourself and make a difference, but then also serve others. So with that, I'm going to open up the lines, answer any questions, and thank you so much for joining me.